Good evening.
What up?
Hi. Oh, welcome, Brandon and Lyle, two of my favorite guys. I love your guys' content on social medias. I love how you guys investigate. I mean, you guys are awesome. From one to 100, I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
So I have two of you, so that's great. So I just want to get into it. For people that don't know you guys, maybe just start. Brandon, you can start, and then Lyle, and give us just a little background about you guys, and then how you guys got together, and all your adventures that you're on right now. It's great. I love it.
So many adventures.
Lyle, you're the OG with everything. So why don't you start first, and I'll come in.
I'm the OG. Well, you can tell by the way I look. I'm old. That's for sure. Well, I mean, as far as the paranormal goes, been doing this since 2011. I think is when Tana and I first got started in this. And, we've always had a passion for it. Tana's a sensitive medium. She's got some great abilities to her. Me, I just loved it. So, so basically we decided to kick off our team, which was called the Twisted Paranormal Society back in 2011. And from there it grew and we started filming, had the Twisted Realm DVD series first. And then we moved into the streaming Twisted Realm series, which was a part of Bitty Space. It was actually on PBS at one time. It's hard to believe.
I was going to say, that sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
I feel like I remember that. Now that you say that.
It was pretty much I think it was pretty much the first paranormal show on PBS.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that, but it was that I can remember. Now they had, scary programming, but as far as an investigative series and stuff like that. And then, we moved on to Bitty Space from there. And then we moved on now to our home Paraflix, Paranormal Plus, which has Twisted Realm. It has Hometown Haunts on there, and we just released a brand new episode of Hometown Haunts this past weekend. That series is totally different for us because we're definitely stepping out and testing the waters and things that we're not used to, like cryptids, UFOs, things like that. And it's a fun series, no doubt.
It doesn't get boring when you start to do that. I mean, I did that at one point with Paranormal Brew. For the longest time, I just had ghost investigators or ghost related stuff, or and then I'm like, there's so much more out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
definitely.
I just started to interview so many different people that do different types of research. I mean, even a treasure hunter.
Yeah. That's cool stuff.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I think that's awesome,
Yeah.
So go ahead. So you
definitely, I mean, Hometown Haunts, I mean, that's kind of really our new series that we're really focusing on as far as, L&B Media. And of course, that's got Brandon, myself, it's got Tana and Josh Bender that are the actual team. So, we're kind of stepping out and doing some different things. We started that series out hunting Bigfoot.
Yes.
And that started that series out hunting Bigfoot.
I remember that.
Was a culture shock.
So, yeah. And then we stepped in.
How was that? I mean, do you still find yourself still like kind of, I'm
Absolutely.
paranormal, but I mean,
Yeah.
how was investigating Bigfoot versus investigating the paranormal?
You know, he'll probably tell you the same thing. We kind of followed our instincts and we watched how a real Bigfoot investigator does his work.
Mhm.
And we just decided to, you know, we wanted to incorporate part of what we do into that.
Sure.
And it really, it panned out too. I was hard to believe the different things that we caught on the paranormal side as well as the Bigfoot side. And, that's why, we've actually thought about this. We were thinking, what should we call ourselves? What do we call ourselves now, Brandon?
Well, there's many things we call each other, but we
Yeah.
can't say that out loud. But it's like explorers of the unknown.
Yeah. Instead of
we're
just paranormal, we're explorers of the unknown. We're just
Awesome.
instead of paranormal investigators, that's what we're going to call ourselves. We're branching out.
I would imagine paranormal investigating and Bigfoot investigating, we kind of there's kind of parallel similarities into the way you investigate.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely.
You know,
And some of the stuff we caught that night, I mean, we were catching EVPs in the campsite
Yeah.
where we were at. And I mean, it was like, really?
I mean,
So-
where we were at had claims of paranormal activity as well. So I mean,
Mhm.
you're mixing in everything. I mean, the last thing I thought we would have captured on a Bigfoot hunt was an EVP. I mean,
right,
Yes.
right.
I mean, the fact that he messaged me is like, dude, we got a EVP. I'm like, of what? It was like, of the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of impressive. But
Yeah.
no, man, it's like that was really cool. I think the tagline of that episode was a night full of curiosities mixed in with moments of extreme fear.
Yeah.
I mean, because it really is. I mean, when you're in a haunted
It was.
location, you're inside walls. You're inside of a location. There's boundaries. Beyond this wall, you
feel
don't
you.
have access.
I feel
You're in
you.
a damn forest.
Yeah,
So,
no.
Yes.
I mean, it's something different.
And there's wild animals there.
Yes, believe me, I am not a fan of the woods. The only woods that I feel comfortable in is in Gettysburg. Like,
Yep.
other than that, I am
Yeah.
like, no way.
Yeah.
There's
Same
wrong turn people out there. There's animals. It's the wrong turn people that scare me more than anything.
Wrong
So,
turn.
Yeah, same. It's
Absolutely.
that's a fear that I thought was kind of crazy, but now that somebody else has said it, I'll feel
God.
good.
That's my biggest fear. I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
no way. Tim is asking, have you captured any evidence of Bigfoot?
Well, it's that particular episode. It was our very first one. Did we see Bigfoot? No. Did we have some experiences that relate to it? Yes, no doubt. We basically, the camp that we were in, it was so noisy that night with birds,
Yes.
insects, things like that. But then all of a sudden everything went quiet. And as it went quiet, you could actually feel the presence. You could hear like we were being circled around.
And do you think that was paranormal, or do you think that was more?
I couldn't tell you. I would love to know, but in the distance, we heard some yells and stuff like that, and believe it or not, I mean, it was just one of those nights where we were really out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Imagine.
I mean, I couldn't get out of Tana's way fast enough at one point. She was about ready to run me over. So he'll tell you.
So like, as paranormal investigators, and I don't know if you guys, for me, I'm always like, if I get in a fight with somebody before I'm going on an investigation, or if I'm like not in a good place, like a lot of times, you kind of like are hesitant to go on an investigation, right? Because it kind of like your mood and this, that. So being in that environment and not feeling vulnerable or feeling like uncomfortable, do you think that kind of maybe messed with your senses or heightened your senses?
I just know it does. It messes with it because, we were in the unexpected zone. We didn't know what to think. We didn't know what to do. We were relying on this person to take us and provide stuff for us as far as what we're supposed to be doing, this and that. We hadn't even got 5 minutes down the road. And I mean, Tana was having a full-blown panic attack in
Um,
the vehicle to get out there. I mean, we had to overcome all that because I have my biggest fear is the wood at night. I do not like it. And to be out there in it the way we were, I know she was scared to death. I had the fear, but I overcame it and did it. Brandon, I can't really speak for him. I don't know how he felt about it, but he'll tell you. But I know that's kind of what we experienced. So
I mean,
it was different.
I gotta tell you though, like, and remember Blair Witch when that came out, and
Mm.
everybody, it was scary, right? And then when everybody was like, "It's not real, it's not scary," I'm like, "That's
100% real.
a scary ass movie to me."
Yeah.
I was like,
Absolutely.
being lost in the woods like that with some
Mhm.
crazy stuff going on. Oh no!
Well, I mean, what we did that night was we're trying to film a series that pretty much it didn't take us. I think we did our interviews with Daniel. We started at like 4 o'clock, and by the time we ended with his interviews, got out to the woods, investigated, we were probably done by 10 o'clock in the evening. So this is almost like a live experiment that was going on.
Sure.
And just condensed down a little bit. But every episode that we do with this is usually done within 2 to 3 to 4 hours. Period.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not like nights of sitting in an asylum or something investigating. The one we did paranormal, we spent 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours max, and put that episode together. I mean, it's like real time stuff, and that was, and I mean, it was. I don't know.
You guys you guys are mainly, a lot of the times you guys are going out there, it's to film. I mean, are you finding time just to be able to have fun and investigate?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I think we enjoyed it. Even though we were carrying the cameras, we enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's fair.
I mean, even being in that time frame, you know what I mean? Like, do you guys still get a chance to just go and like, okay, if this investigation lasts however long it lasts, however long, you know what I mean? Just like normal investigating as opposed to doing it in a time frame for filming.
Right. No, and actually, believe it or not, we didn't really. It's just the way these episodes go.
Yeah.
If they take 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But the ones that we've done,
I gotcha.
they have not, because we've just captured so much in short periods of time.
Yeah.
That it's done what it's done, and I don't know. I'm ready to do another Bigfoot hunt. I'm ready to do another UFO thing. I'm just, because it just fascinates me. You work in the paranormal field, you study it, you do it as much as you can. Now we're trying to see if there's other things that relate to this.
Yeah, for sure.
Altogether. So
yeah. Now, Brandon, I'm like, Brandon. So tell us about yourself, and I know we've been talking a little bit, but I do want to pick up on the UFO thing though once we start to get back into about so what's your story, bro?
Well, August 11th, 1990, I was born, and I don't know how far back you want to go. We will see.
Let's go way back.
So, I've been into the paranormal for a very long time. I had my very first encounter at a hotel called the Chamberlain when I was 10 years old. My first full-bodied apparition that I've seen, and it's one of those where I was 10 years old, but the image never left my brain. It's still there, the little kid that I saw, and I've described him the same way since the day after I saw him. It was a little kid, bowl haircut like Mo from the Three Stooges, white puffy sleeves, black overalls, reading a book. And got off the elevator, saw him, and my mom saw him as well, looked back up, and he was gone. And ever since that day, I've been kind of chasing the paranormal, more or less. I have a passion with it. I was with another team for a while. I left. I've known Lyle for a little while at that time. He was looking for an extra camera hand. I came on board for that. Kind of weaseled my way into the Twisted Paranormal Society, and no, it's been fun. It's been a nonstop ride. We've been, God, all the things we've done and we've filmed in the last 5 years. It's been kind of crazy. All the opportunities we've done has been fun. Been places I've only dreamed of. Been doing things I never thought I would do. And then we'll talk more about it later. But with our recent thing that we're doing now with the Wraith Chasers, it's a lot of fun. But started doing that, then kind of launched into the TikTok thing earlier this year. It was the day after Christmas. I started something called the Ghost Guy Files on TikTok,
Love it.
and been kind of going with that. That's kind of been like my little side thing I wanted to do like a side project for a while of just talking about ghost stories. I'm a paranormal investigator, but I also call myself a paranormal story collector.
Absolutely.
I think behind every haunted location, behind every ghost story, and I did like a little video about it. It's on my TikTok page, but I think behind every encounter, whether it's Bigfoot, UFO, ghosts, everything has a story to tell. And I think you need to keep telling those stories. What's the phrase? You die twice. The first time we take your last breath, and the second time is when your name is said for the very last time.
Yeah.
So I like telling those stories. So that's why I do like on TikTok page. I tell a lot of cool stories about haunted locations, about
that's my favorite.
Celebrity.
I love that.
Yeah. So it's been a fun ride. And shit, from where we're going now and where we're going to now, it's gonna be even a cooler ride, more or less.
I promise you'll never stop the Ghost Files.
Never stop the Ghost Files. There may be times where the videos may be a little bit few and far between, but they'll never stop.
I mean, it's actually interesting stuff. I mean,
yes.
There's a lot of stuff that and they're short videos, so it's not like you're sitting there, which is another good thing.
That's the thing about it is like I can't watch. I watch paranormal programming when they're friends. I just can't watch much of it anymore because we're involved in it 24/7. I watch our stuff. I watch some friends' stuff. I mean, there's still shows I tune in and watch periodically, but like I can't do like 5-6 hours documentaries and stuff like that anymore. So like I'm like, let me just make it like a minute.
Yeah, no, they're great. And it's like entertaining, but you shove all this information into these videos. There's like a lot of stuff, and you do love Gettysburg, so I'm automatically drawn to your stuff.
I got like 6 or 7 more Gettysburg videos coming, so I think you're gonna be really happy by the end of the week. But that's one thing about us, like with my stuff, and then with stuff we do for all of our projects, is we're history first, paranormal second.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
You tell the story of the location of the incident, whatever it is. If it's a Bigfoot encounter, UFO, haunted location, you cover that first. You showcase the location, and then the paranormal aspect just comes along with it. It's kind of like an added bonus.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the way we look at it, and that's the way you see it in a lot of our projects.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a big thing for me is places, locations with meaty history, and it's got to be able to. I like factual history. I don't like the whole we don't know if this happened, or people do lie about stuff, about the location's history. So you have to be careful, especially when you guys are doing what you do, where you are putting this out there for the public, and you want to make sure your history facts are correct. It's such a big thing, and a lot of these locations don't realize, and a lot of people don't realize how important history is to have. And just because a place doesn't have any crazy history doesn't mean it can't be haunted.
And that's the thing about it also. It's like you look how many places, like let's try and think of one example. Let's say you go to Gettysburg. We'll use that as an example. And you go to like Little Round Top, you go to Devil's Den, and you go to the first part of the battlefield, and you ask for John Reynolds, which was the highest ranking commander killed in the Battle of Gettysburg, killed only minutes after going into battle.
Yep.
You try to contact him. What about the thousands of other soldiers that were there that made the ultimate sacrifice like he did?
Right.
So every location has a story or somebody that wants to talk, but it's our job to find out who that is to get their story too. It's not always, you go to Eastern State, you want to hear Al Capone. You go to Alcatraz, you want to hear Al Capone. But there was people there that was before him and after him that they're going to want to talk to, but they don't want to talk because nobody's asking for them by name.
Right.
So, and I think you see that too, and also in our projects is we try to incorporate anybody outside that spectrum that wants to talk. This is your open mic here. Just, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
I mean, even Gettysburg, take the soldiers out of it. I mean, there is people. I mean, I know Jenny Wade was the only civilian, but think about, the war. Yes, it was insane, but I mean, I've been on the battlefield, and I was somewhere one time where I thought I heard phantom horses.
Sure.
I've heard that.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? Like hearing the horses, I've smelled horses.
Yeah.
So it's not just that, but also the people that lived in town. There's, I mean, you never know. I mean, I've never seen the picture, but I heard of there being a picture of supposed soldiers that had the pointy hats from, like the revolution. Yeah, like the revolution. And then one day, I don't see things. I'm not a psychic medium. I'm not like that. I'm just an investigator. You know what I mean? But I one day looked up, and it looked like a World War II soldier walking. Like I saw him for 3 seconds.
Hey, I mean, that Camp Colt used to be in Gettysburg. That was a training procedure. One of the oldest ghost stories in Gettysburg involved George Washington, of all people. Now, whether it's true or not, don't know. People, the 20th Maine claimed that they saw a man on horseback with a cape with a tricorn hat that looked just like George Washington, leading them to what would be Little Round Top. And whether that's true or not, I mean, I don't know if that's true, but it's a really good motivator. You know, the leader of the free country is here to lead you to defend your country. So,
right. I mean, even if and more than one of them saw that, but I was just going to say, like, even if it was manifested somehow, in the midst of all the anguish and trials and tribulation and the fight and the this and the that, whatever, it got the job done. Right. So let's talk about the Powerflix stuff and everything you guys have been doing with that and anything coming up that we should look forward to. You guys were just at the Gettysburg Academy.
Just at the Academy. Great event this weekend. We had our very first event with Daryl Marston this weekend, and that was just an awesome time. Everybody enjoyed him. He talked a lot about his new book that he just came out with, and getting to investigate with him for the first time. That was really cool to spend time with him. And but no, the Academy, it was our second visit there, and it never lets you down. That's for sure. I mean, we were kind of the first crew that really came in there back in March, and I know when we did with dinner with the ghost back in March, it was like, we couldn't even get the dinner started before things happened.
Right.
And it just started happening. We just couldn't figure it out. What's going on here? Right. And then of course it followed into the next night when we had our regular investigation. And so we didn't know what to expect this time, but getting back there, it was the same thing, the same way. Right. So, lots of stuff happening in the basement, the attic, second floor, first floor. I mean, every floor had cool stuff this time.
Yeah.
So,
there was I'm sorry, somebody was asking a question earlier. I don't know that, was there an actual woman that they called Blair Witch? I don't know how true the story is.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Got me.
In my head, it could actually absolutely happen. So that's it. It keeps me out of the woods because I believe, yes, it could happen. Whether or not that's superstition or not, but whatever.
Could be. Hey, we'll just say it's yes. We'll say yeah.
Yeah. And if you ever caught Bigfoot, what would you do with it?
I would never want to catch Bigfoot.
I would not either.
I would just like to see Bigfoot one time, but I would never want to catch him. Or whatever they are. I just have different beliefs as to what Bigfoot is anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody has their thoughts, their opinions. I just feel it's an extraterrestrial type being that can come and go when it wants. It's weird. So
feeling how you guys feel now about the paranormal and how you're trying to do, like, call your, haunted explorations or, like, what would be your number one place to be able to go? No money, not money, no issue.
You mean as far as like a paranormal side goes?
Yeah, like wherever you guys would want to go. Like, where's a place that you would want to go to explore?
I'd like to get on the big bird and go to Ireland, and probably Lip Castle is what I'd like to do.
Sure. Yeah.
I was watching a show on that today at that Haunted Ireland show. Just some beautiful footage from over there, and it's just that's always been one that's been on our bucket list, Tana and our bucket list, to go there. So that's probably the biggest one.
Yeah. No.
Was that that was the one where they were Ghost Hunters International caught that thing behind Barry? Was that Love Castle?
Uh, I can't remember who all. I thought Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunter International. I think both teams. Well, I can't
Yeah,
remember
I
if
think
both went over there or not. If it was
everybody's
just
been there
international.
except for GAC. I know it was on Scariest Places on Earth. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
places, a lot of things have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Brandon?
I'm saying I'm kind of the same. I'd go in a different direction. For some reason, there's been two locations that I want to spend a weekend. One is Greyfriars Cemetery in Edinburgh, Scotland. I couldn't tell you why. I've seen it on many programs when I was a kid with In Search of and Haunted History, and I just like, okay, I need to go there. The second one is I want to spend a week inside the Daniel Lady Farm at Gettysburg. Just myself. I have the barn, the whole property, the whole house myself. Just where I want to be for 1 week.
You can do that though, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you can get the house anymore. You used to be able to get the barn. I think they used to allow investigations in the house. I went to a living history day years ago there, and somebody said that they used to allow investigations on the house, but they would leave trash everywhere, batteries everywhere, and then because there's still blood on the floor, there's still the drill marks on the floor, saw marks on the floor, everything's still there. They made no attempt to clean it up, which is you can't. It's inside the wood. You can't get rid of it. But they really embraced it. But in many situations, people didn't pay the proper respect, and we lost it. Will it ever happen again? I don't know. But the minute it does, you best believe I'm breaking open that vault that makes believe in my brain, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm going to be one of the very few ones to go in there, first ones to go in there, because it's been, I don't know why, it's been on my bucket list for a very long time.
Yeah. It sounds interesting. I've always been attracted to the Sharpie house.
Yeah, I think actually at any point I'd stay the night in any of those houses, any of the houses. That one, the Cadori, any one of them. But to spend the night in the Daniel Lady Farm, I mean, I think that's where the decision was made to do Pickett's Charge. There was a council of war there on July 2nd. It was a major field hospital. You're right below Benner's Hill, which was a major artillery casualty pinpoint. So I think that was the epicenter of the Confederate attack from end of July 2nd on to July 3rd. And that's where the decisions were made that ultimately turned the tide of the war. And I think inside that all that history remains inside of that house.
Yeah, I agree. It sounds like it would, you'd walk in and you just walk into a cloud.
Spider web of just energy.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. The spider web is a very good. I was thinking like, this white haze, like you're just walking in and it's you. What location surprised you guys the most?
That's a good one.
There was one that I was surprised at how quiet it was. Not saying it was an activity. The Lizzie Board and Bed and Breakfast, we spent the night there back in 2015. It was quiet. We had some interesting moments, but once again, that was where the history was. I'm standing where these grisly crimes happened,
Right.
And that was great. The one that really, that surprised me of how active they truly were was Fort Mifflin and Waverly Hills. So those two were, Fort Mifflin was just a nonstop party of just activity. And of course, Waverly Hills did not disappoint. The only problem I had going there was I went in July, and that's hotter than hell on earth.
It's big, isn't it?
95 degrees in the shade at night. And yeah, it's huge. It's a huge place where the bats are the size of Buicks.
Yes.
Massive. First time I've ever had one graze my head, and the first time I've ever seen two almost collide into each other.
Really?
Creepy.
I love bats. So, but that would scare me. But I do love bats.
No, thank you.
Zhang is checking in from Indonesia. I just want to get
nice.
So,
yeah, definitely. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. Waverly Hills. What'd you say?
No, I was just saying what's up.
Oh, Waverly, you would need. I mean, a place like that. How many do you get it for? How many days you want, or is it just an overnight?
We did it for, well, it wasn't an overnight. It was for a private investigation. I think we got it till about 2 in the morning. But it was huge.
Yeah,
That
you would
once
have.
again, that was back in 2015 or 16. Was one of the last ones I did with the team I was with before. But no, it was huge. And what was funny about it was you go through this really nice community, and then the very back of it is like this gigantic old tuberculosis hospital, and it's like the giant bat wings because it's like building and then separate, and then it just and the death tunnel is the blackest black I've ever seen in my life. Like no
Really?
amount of night can make as black as this was. All you see is a small little pinprick of light at the very bottom where they would take the caskets and kind of go down. There's a door down there. There's this very small pinprick of light that you just see at the very end. It's kind of like you're like going like the tunnel to heaven. It was just creepy as all hell.
Oh wow! And it's like that dark, like everywhere.
Very dark. Yes, it's open aired because it's an old tuberculosis hospital, but there's parts of it where it's like your eyes will see whatever it wants to see. So it makes it kind of difficult sometimes because it is open, but
Were you
that
able
is,
to get to? Were you able to investigate the whole thing? I mean,
yeah.
oh, you are.
Back then, I don't know how it is now. Back then, we got access to all the rooms, to the death chute, the death tunnel, the top floor where they found the nurse and where the kids were. We had full access. I think there was maybe one or two rooms we couldn't go in because they were redoing some stuff, but we had access to everything.
But you were able. You guys, in that amount of time, you were able to hit everything, or you?
Very fast, but
Yeah, I
not.
imagine.
Yeah,
Sorry, let me let my cat out. He's
you're good.
go ahead, baby. Oh, one wants to come in and one wants to go out.
But Waverly is everything they say it is. And Lyle will tell you, like, Fort Mifflin is just another one as well.
Yeah.
I did learn the hard way not to record in real time at Fort Mifflin because I caught a plane halfway over and damn near busted my eardrums out.
Yeah.
That was
that's the one thing about Mifflin is, you with it being right there at Philadelphia International Airport. I mean, you get a lot of noise, so you really have to plan it. You have to plan your sessions out. But
that's literally like 15 minutes for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes for me. I always tell Greg, I'm like, I can't believe I can't get over there. I love Fort Mifflin. Not let's just like, even if nothing paranormal happens,
it's beautiful.
In Fort Mifflin is like the history and everything is like insane there.
Yeah.
I would love to sleep in one of the bunkers or one of the not bunkers, one of the casemates. You know what I mean? And just I think about it, but then I look around. I'm like, all right, it's really cold. There's probably bugs in the summer. It's cold in the winter, but I could do it, I think.
What made Mifflin really cool was the fact of you have this gigantic pot of time.
Yeah.
You have Civil War, Revolutionary War. You have World War II. You have, and I did a video on it. It's still an active military base for the Army Corps of Engineers.
Yeah.
Making it one of the oldest active bases and the only base that's still around that predates the Declaration of Independence.
I know, it's so crazy.
So it's very cool.
Yeah. Like to me, that's like, even if nothing paranormal happens, still being in that place is and being able to be there and have access to it the way we can have access to it. It's rewarding. There's a lot of people that are outside of the paranormal that say, "Oh, do you get paid for this?" And I'm like, being able to get into places like that is the reward. Being able to do what we do is the reward in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
Have either of you ever spent the night at the Shanley Hotel in New York?
No, we've actually we were trying to plan an event there that we've been looking at doing, but never made it up there yet.
We were asked to be a part of a production up there. I think it was last year with Chris, and we just couldn't make it. We just didn't have time. But it looks great from everything we've seen. I mean, that looks like a haunted as all hell location.
Yeah. I've been there twice, and I had not much happened. I mean, we did hear some like phantom noises and disembodied. I can hear disembodied voices, but um, the cool thing that happened was I was laying in one of the beds, and it felt like a cat was kneading on the bed, and I have five. I have had five cats with my baby. I have five babies, fur babies that were feline. So
See, that's terrifying to me.
I I know that feeling. I know what it feels like when they jump up on the bed and they start,
You'll
kneading
start doing
on the
that.
bed.
Mhm.
And I'm looking at my feet and I'm like, there is nothing there. What is happening? You know, nothing was moving either. So it wasn't like the bed sheet was, the bed wasn't moving, but I could
Mhm.
feel this feeling, and I'm like, what is going on? So that was pretty cool. But Shelly, what about the Stanley Hotel? That sucks that they don't do the paranormal stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be an awesome place to get
We
into
had
again.
one of our crew for Haunted Nights crew went to see Melissa Etheridge at the Stanley. Was it
Hmm.
a month or so ago she went as
Yeah,
well?
haven't been long. Within the
Yeah.
last 2 months.
So she got to do a little investigating with Melissa Etheridge in her dressing room. That was
wait,
kind
Yeah.
of cool.
Melissa Etheridge, like the singer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
No, she's really good friends with Melissa Etheridge, and
Hmm.
she's been to a lot of shows, and she knows her by heart. And
But does Melissa, is she into the paranormal stuff?
Yes.
starting to, yeah,
Also, well, that's
starting to
cool.
get a little bit with her. Our friend Lori is a good friend of Melissa's,
Yeah.
and they happened to be at that show at the Stanley, and like you just don't pass that opportunity. And
No.
they did like a little bit of investigating in her dressing room before sound check, and they got some decent stuff from what I
Listen, you
heard.
could always rent a room there and
Yeah.
do
You
it.
can go ahead and do
I
it.
mean, they
Good luck.
frowned
Yeah.
upon, but if you're walking
Yeah,
around with a recorder,
yeah,
or in your room, you can do whatever you want in your room.
true. It's true.
I always thought about the White House being a really cool place.
I
Mhm.
Um,
suppose. Yeah.
I think that would be awesome, the White House.
Yeah.
Maybe
Probably
it's
the most
such
probably
a
the most haunted location in America.
because it's never been investigated, right? I mean, like I can't imagine, I can't imagine. It's so unattainable. That's probably
Hmm.
why I'm so attracted to it, to want to do it.
I mean, there's
But
been
Was it?
seances done there.
Yeah. Who was it that we were Jeff
Jeff
Ballinger?
Belanger.
Jeff
Belanger.
Belanger. Yeah. We were just at an event with him
I
back in
love
at the end
him.
of September, and he was talking about his interview at the White House
Mhm.
Yeah.
that he did. Because he came in and did a story on that, and it was like that was crazy to listen to that.
Yeah. You got Abraham Lincoln, you got Willie Lincoln, you got Dolly Madison, you have the Revolutionary War soldier that burnt the White House down. You have tons of activity, from what people have seen, and like Mary Lincoln was into the spiritual side, trying to make contacts. They did X amount of seances at the White House. Abraham Lincoln in
Yeah.
attendance. So, I would love to be able
Yeah.
to, and investigate it. And Jeff made a good point when we were talking about this, and everybody, if there's anybody you believe a ghost story from, it's got to be a White House representative, because they're not crazy. Because they have to pass so many tests to be an employee of the White House. So you have to believe what
And
they're
they
saying.
have to pay attention to
Hmm.
detail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They have to pay attention to detail.
hundred
They
percent.
know how many people are walking in and out. They know, if there's a feather out of place on one of the
Yeah,
trees. You know what I'm saying? Like they are trained
yeah.
to know,
Everything there is supposed to go as planned. So if a door opens and closes on its own, or something malfunctions, that's not supposed to happen
right.
at
Yeah.
all.
How cool would it be?
It'd be very
Yeah.
cool.
That would
Very cool.
I always think about. I'm like at nighttime. I'm like, man, like, just to get in there, and I mean they do tours, so
Yeah.
even but you wouldn't be able to get it. Like I thought about that, right? I'm like, all right, well, we'll
Yeah.
do a tour, and I'll just bring a recorder, but you're going to be doing a tour with 20 people,
Yeah.
and there's people all over the place. So, but that would be one of mine, I think, and I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, a lot of people always say stuff overseas, and I can appreciate that. Like I
Hmm.
totally can appreciate that. Um, it's so much older, and there's so much more. Like, I can't imagine like what the castles and stuff and what they're built of and how they
Sure.
retain that energy and everything. But like, so the White House would be one, and then also I would love to. I just was recently there, and for me, I love the the presidential and all that kind of stuff history, but I would love to investigate the house that's on Arlington in Arlington Cemetery, where
I
Yeah.
bet.
I walk through there, and when you walk through there, you can just be like, you're just like,
Yeah.
they have several structures, that you could get into and stuff like that. But oh my goodness, like if there's 4 million graves there, and there are people, how
Yeah.
many visitors a day? I mean, just the people coming through there, leaving their impressions there. But then also you got, I mean, that was Lee's,
That was his home.
that was his home.
Yeah.
And they were like, let's build this Union.
Correct.
Like I mean, come on. There's got to be some cool stuff there,
Most definitely. Most definitely.
You should interview a retired Secret Service agent. Ask them if they've seen. Oh yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Let's get into that one.
I wonder if anybody would, because I've tried to get some Gettysburg guide, like tour guides or park rangers. I've tried to get park rangers on. Like I've talked to a couple of park rangers. I'm like, dude, you come on my show? He's like, it's kind of frowned upon.
Yeah.
The paranormal stuff. So, but I feel like even amongst like law enforcement and military, it's starting to get a little bit less taboo. Like I feel like those kinds of organizations are starting to catch up with the less taboo stuff.
Sure.
And bringing it into what I was going to talk about, the UFOs. So I noticed what you said. So when we were talking about, we said Bigfoot investigations, paranormal investigations, but then you said looking for UFOs. So is there a difference when you're investigating for UFO? So it doesn't even sound right. Like, how can you investigate a UFO? You can't. So how do you go about?
So basically our episode that we did was on an occurrence that took place back in 1964. So there really wasn't, we weren't able to investigate or do UFO research and stuff like that out there. It was more of a story. And that's what Hometown Haunts is about. It's like going and having people tell us stories about certain things that happened in their area that really you don't know much about. And until Jake had put this, he's our featured guest in the UFO series we just did. And he did a story for the local news media here because he's a reporter for them. And I remember hearing something about it probably a few years ago, but I never thought more about it until we started doing this. And then when I saw him, I was like, man, this guy's early 20s, just knows his stuff. And he was perfect for this episode because he knew it front and back, the story. And he was able to explain things and tell us a lot of the background history, Project Blue Book, all those different things that took place. It's a lot for Project Blue Book to come out and investigate a claim. And for them to not even want to let this get out, it was something of importance. And to happen, what we say, it only happened a mile down the road from us here.
Yeah, and I would say the UFO side of it is more research than it is investigating.
Yes.
Because you're going out and you're talking to people that have had these experiences, and then you got to talk to more people, see if they match up, see any similarities. Like it's more of a research type thing than instead of sitting outside looking up at the sky waiting to see something weird happen.
Sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy is the fact that we had within the last year, before we even did this episode, Brandon and I were actually filming at the cabin on 360, doing some B-roll footage.
Yeah,
and we actually witnessed something in the sky above us that we both were like, what was that we just saw? And of course, Tana and we were filming, we were doing an investigation at Dunlore Inn in Mineral, Virginia. And the girls actually saw some weird occurrence in the sky. It's like all of a sudden in the last year, we've seen these weird things.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, it's fascinating. I loved everything about this Hometown Haunt series.
Yeah.
It takes us in different directions and it gives us a chance to check out other things that are a part of this realm that we don't know, the realm of the unknown. So
Yeah. And how do you guys get the locations that you go to? Do people write in? Do people contact you guys, or are you researching it yourselves and looking for places?
All the above.
Yeah.
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 I mean, it is. It's like the Bigfoot. I mean, we've worked with Daniel before at his events and stuff, and it was like there was, we thought, what a better person to go with. We found our person at St. Albans when we went there and filmed our paranormal episode there, and it just so happened to be we followed one of the spirits that was there. We tried to tell the story of this spirit, and this particular girl, Lisa Kinsey, she portrays this girl. She portrays Rebecca all the time in different things, and we thought, what a better person to tell the story about her,
Sure.
And every show has a focus on a certain person or a certain claim, and it's not like trying to go and investigate, the unknown within the building or all the claims. It's like we're focusing on one thing.
Oh, you know who will keep you busy? George Washington.
Yeah,
that dude's been everywhere.
Fair point. That's a fair point.
You guys would have like 3 seasons of George Washington.
That's a fair point.
I mean, even like there's places that are like, well, we don't know if he was here, but we know that he's connected to this, and that. So it was like, who knows? You guys might uncover some George Washington history along the way. You never know.
Kind of like if you go to Hollywood in Marilyn Monroe. I mean, all these homes she owned, she's been in all these hotels, she's started movies here. So it's kind of the same thing. I guess he's the Marilyn Monroe of the historical world.
For sure.
I just don't want to see that dress come up. No. But yeah, I mean, and that's the thing about it with these extraterrestrial and cryptid. I still want to do a Mothman episode. That'd be awesome.
I was going to ask you guys if you
were thinking about that one,
But what makes it different is we're not cryptozoologists. We're not Bigfoot, and we're enthusiasts, but we're not Bigfoot diehards. You spend 2 weeks out in the woods, and that's not who we are. We're paranormal investigators who, excuse me, take our talent and take our experiences, at what we do and see if these tools that we use for paranormal can work for something else. I mean, motion. Think of it though: motion detectors, static domes. Can UFOs give off a certain frequency? And set off the devices. Can Bigfoot, if he is some sort of extraterrestrial creature, can he set off our REM pods? Can he set off our motion detectors? Can he set off this stuff? Does he have some sort of force field? Is he like Predator? Is there a reason why all the video footage and all the photos are blurry? Is he blurry? I mean, there's so many avenues you can really go down with all of this stuff that it's fascinating because it all is theory. Nobody's captured a Bigfoot that we know of. Is there aliens at Area 51? Is there some way? I mean, I'm sure there's some somewhere, but
a ranch.
There you go. Until there's one right in front of each and every one of us, we're not going to know definitively what these things are.
Right.
But that's the good thing about it today is you have these theories, and that's with the paranormal too. Until a entity sits down in front of me and tells me what it is, how I got this way, how long it's been around, then we won't know. But that's what makes everything fun is all these theories come together, and sometimes they match up, sometimes they don't. But
well, and that's the thing. The unexplainable occurrences are the best. If there's any way to explain it, it's kind of like, okay, well, this could be this or that. But when you're like, tell me how that happened.
Yeah.
Or why did I hear that? And why is it on the recorder, but nobody else heard it, or whatever, And I was going to say this, like, ADD, bam, out. Just like that.
It happens to the best of us.
Yes, it does. You know what? While we were investigating there with Daniel in the Bigfoot, when we were in the camp, I mean, we did a lot of things that we would do. Mm-hmm. So it was interesting for him as a Bigfoot researcher that's not really into the paranormal to see what we do. And like, it was interesting for us to see what he does. But when things started happening with our equipment and our stuff, and he's like, wow, really? And it was like we felt the same things together. We felt this big force of energy come into the camp, and had him come up and said, "Do you feel that, Daniel?" He said, "Yeah, I feel that." And I'm like, "Okay." It got weird. That whole investigation got weird, but it was so worth it. It was over the top. I just loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was fun.
Yeah, and I think that's what about, like, with and people that do the same type of a thing you do and you guys do. But one thing that you said, this is what I was going to say, when you say, we're paranormal investigators, we're not this, we're not that, we're paranormal investigators. So when you guys are stepping outside of your comfort zone, even when you guys are doing the paranormal stuff, it's interesting to me, the real investigator, not the person that's just out there, like, whatever. I'm an investigator, so I like watching your show more than I like watching the stuff on YouTube where they're jumping around and everything's a demon and whatever and faking whatever. I like watching your stuff because I feel like you guys are taking me on a journey that I would be doing if it was me, so you're asking the questions that I want answers to, because I'm able to put myself there because it's more real to me this way than on that side of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I appreciate what you guys do. I mean, I love that better.
Thank you.
I think you see the passion more or less, and you see all the projects we've done and places we've been. The passion's never gone away at all. And the cool thing about it is a lot of these locations that we go to that we've been to multiple times, St. Albans, the Academy, Dunlore, and any of these really.
Yeah.
It's like it's our first time, but it's not our first time. So we treat it like we're coming home.
Yeah, every time. Yeah.
And I think the spirits see that, like, okay, they're not going to ask us how we died 4 or 5 times. They're not going to, go about that. They're going to want to know about us. And I think one thing we started doing this past weekend at the Academy was we were in the main part where the dinner was held at. And we said, well, do you have any questions for us? Like, we had the meter set up and, like, let's just think of some pre-made questions. So, like, all right, do you want to know where we're from? Do you want to know how old we are? Do you want to know our story, our each individual backgrounds?
Turn it around.
And then it went off one time for where we from. You want to know where I'm from? Beep. Okay, well, I'm Brandon. I'm from Fishersville, Virginia. And then went down the line of people that were in the room. I thought that was a cool aspect, switching the tables a little bit. So let's let you know about me, and then we can start a dialogue.
Like, I didn't think to ask those other questions, which I will now. Thank you. But one of the questions I always ask is, can you see us?
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if they can see us. We can't see. Can you hear us? Do we sound? What am I wearing? Like, what is my? What do you think of what I'm wearing? Stuff like that. But I didn't think about, like, oh, do you want to know more about us and where I'm from? I mean, that's. I mean, we're asking you. I'm asking them.
Yeah.
Where are you from?
It come down to it where it's like, I don't know who you are, but let's say you're from Fishersville, Virginia, where we're from. Well, I got a cousin that lives in Stanton. I know Fishersville, so I'll talk to you because I can relate more to you. So that's another way of narrowing it down to who do you want to talk to.
Sure. Yeah. Like, I know if I die and I'm a ghost and the Jersey in me, and somebody comes in and is like, "What's your name?" What's your name? You came to my house. What's your name?
It's my house. Yeah. That's good.
I'm trying to sleep and you walk in my door asking how I died. I'm like, well, I mean, that's just
what if you don't know?
Damn thing.
And that's the one thing we try to do with Haunted Nights when we have our events is try to give people a different experience. It's more of them doing. There are a lot of people that come that don't know what we do. Okay, they're there for the first time. We have 4 of them, maybe 5 or 6 of them this weekend that have never done it before. They actually stayed at the location, and they were just fascinated by what we do and certain things that we did. But we try not to control it. We put it in their hands, and we say, we're there for you if you need us to help kickstart or do whatever. But I provide this for you. I want you to have fun and enjoy it. And I think and we always tell everybody, what is it? What's the tagline, Brandon?
Who's ready to experience a haunted night?
Not that one. Participate. What?
Oh, don't hate, participate.
Yeah. Participation is big time.
Don't hate, participate.
Yeah. And, so we have them get to it and do some stuff. And I think we try to tell everybody too, before we let them go, if you came in, like you said earlier, if you had a fight earlier, if you had bad stuff, check that at the door. Don't bring it in with you.
Yeah.
Come in a good, positive mood, because they can detect if you're having a problem, and they're not going to communicate if you're trouble.
Well, not only that, but I think a lot of people that are in this do have an intuition and have a sense of things, and they have we have our own built-in, empathetic, trigger, so you always know when somebody comes in and they're in a pissy mood, or they're going to be an ass, or you know what I mean. You can always kind of feel that vibe, and then it kind of just rubs off on everybody. You're like, dude, come on, I know we're almost out of time, which stinks.
Oh no.
I want you guys to kind of just, tell everybody where they can find you guys, and what you guys have coming up, and all that good stuff.
Brandon, tell them about our new project.
Well, why don't you show them your hoodie first? So that right there is the Dub C for the Wraith Chasers, Mike and Chris. We are very excited to announce that we are the official film/production crew for their brand new series, Ghost Mob, that we are actively filming right now, which will be available to stream on Amazon Prime Video in spring of 2024.
Yay!
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
The Mob crew.
So the boys from Travel Channel and Discovery are coming back to TV.
That's awesome.
We are completely honored to be, our company, LB Media Productions, is very honored to be given the opportunity to be their crew and capture this return for them.
You
be
guys,
a part of every investigation. That's what's awesome.
Well, if there was anybody else that deserved it, to you guys. I mean, you guys are awesome. You guys really, you put good content out there. I mean, even with Brandon, the ghost, like the ghost guy Brandon, like on TikTok, like all that, the power flick stuff, everything. I mean, I'm very critical about stuff, on TV and on YouTube and all that stuff. And, I honestly can say you guys do produce some really good content. So I couldn't be happier with other people. I mean, it's great. Congratulations. And I love the Rangers. Those guys are great guys. So I mean, you guys, it's going to be a good, good connection.
What makes it cool is that this is a series that you can watch the first one this week, and be a part of the show the next week. And we have info on how you can be a part of the show. The tagline is 10 people, 10 walks of life, 1 haunted location. So we're not not just them. We're bringing the public with us.
That's cool. That's awesome. What a cool concept. I can't wait. So you guys are filming that right now, and that's going to be out in you said spring?
Spring. First episode should come spring. Yeah.
And what is it? What's it called?
Ghost Mob.
Ghost Mob.
Ghost Mob. That's right. Okay. Ghost Mob. That's really cool. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Awesome thing.
All right. So,
what happened?
We got a lot of stuff going on.
That's a lot. See, bags under the eyes. That's just tired.
Did we talk about everything? Because I mean,
sure. Go ahead, Lyle.
That's a big one. Between that, the Twisted Realm between Hometown Haunts. I mean, we've got our 4th episode. We've already filmed for Hometown Haunts. We're making a return visit to a secure military installation down outside of Richmond for Hometown Haunts. And I mean, that was an experience for a weekend. We can't wait to share that one.
The military
with
called
everybody.
us.
Yeah.
That sounds cool.
When the military calls you back and said, "Hey, we need you. Come on." We're like, "Okay."
Duty
no doubt.
calls.
Yeah. And they've already, I mean, and the work that we're doing there, they want us to expand that to another awesome location, which we won't say right now, but
Another military base.
when the other name came up, it was like, you got to be kidding me, right? So, but no, that's awesome.
So cool. That is so
But,
cool. What an honor even to be able to, the military, you know what I mean? Like, to me, I'm such a patriotic person. So like, I feel you that if the military was like, hey, come, I'm like, you say when, I'm clearing my schedule.
Yeah. I mean, the treatment they took good care of us, and they're continuing to, and it's awesome. So we've got our paranormal shows. We do our events with Haunted Nights Paranormal events. We got one more event this year at the Dunlore Inn, the weekend of November 17th through the 19th, and that's with the Wraith Chasers, and we're about 60% sold on that one right now. And we still got tickets, so please, if you want to just jump on our website or our Facebook page, you'll see the links. Mm-hmm. And then really, I mean, think about it. Us two guys right here, not only we do paranormal, we do weddings. Mm-hmm. We broke ourselves into weddings this year.
What? Which is kind of funny. Our very first wedding, I looked over at Lyle and said, I'm not used to filming in the daylight.
Yeah.
Filming a wedding.
We filmed a wedding. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, we're not getting married. We're filming people getting married.
No. So it's pretty cool. But I mean, these two guys right here, being DJs and doing all that kind of stuff, it was fun.
Yeah. Listen, if I ever get married and like I'm sure I'm gonna end up in Gettysburg somewhere, like to celebrate it, or you guys can come out and like film, but like we can do an investigation wedding. Like,
that's right.
So we are everywhere. We're on all social media. Facebook, Haunted Nights Paranormal Events on Facebook, LME Media Productions on Facebook, Hometown Haunts series on Facebook. Yeah, weddings are scary. Yeah. I got married on Halloween, so it is pretty scary.
Oh, that's awesome. What a great date. Go ahead, Brandon. Go ahead.
But all of our stuff's on Facebook, Haunted Nights Paranormal Events, LMB Media Productions, Hometown Haunt Series, Twisted Paranormal Societies, all on Facebook. Hometown Haunts and LBs on Instagram. All that cool stuff. I'm Ghost Guy Brandon on TikTok. Lyle's it was a Ghost Love. Forget your handle.
The Twisted Guy.
Twisted Guy Lyle.
Yeah, Twisted Guy Lyle.
I was trying to tag you and stuff, and I'm like, I can't find him anywhere.
And we're gonna actually have new content coming to the Haunted Nights page on TikTok as well. So we're going to be adding some more content for Haunted Nights, behind the scenes stuff for events, behind evidence reviews, info on locations. That's all going to be on the Haunted Nights TikTok account, starting at the Dunlore.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
So a lot of stuff, a lot of content between everything.
Plus, he's getting ready to produce a new TikTok series too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Do you guys sleep?
No.
No.
We eventually pass out, and then we kind of wake up.
I thought I was busy. My goodness. I mean, bless your families for like.
We love what we do.
You guys, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, a lot of time.
But if you love what you do, it's fun.
Yes.
I started a new job, full-time job at Amazon, and I just told them, I said, look, guys, this is what I've got going on. Filming. And they're like, we don't care. We want you. We'll let you do what you want to do. And so it's great when you got a company that you work for that's like, hey, go do it. So
yeah, you have to have, a job but also your families. People, your loved ones have to be understanding and patient, and say, okay, go do your thing, and and be okay with that, because a lot of times, especially when your significant others or other people aren't into the paranormal.
Correct.
Don't understand.
I'm lucky mine is. Yeah. And she's a part of most of it. She hasn't been a part for about a month now because we got a new little fur baby that she's taking care of and trying to break it in.
Oh, I love fur babies.
And then of course Brandon's wife Taylor, she's a part of the Haunted Nights crew, and so we try to include our families in everything we do, as much as we can.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm happy. I'm so happy. I'm excited to see everything that's going to be coming out, and I'm so excited.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
Good job. I think it's great.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much
for everything. Let's turn this on you.
Yes.
Thank you for everything you do, because you give so many teams, so many investigators, so many people a chance to tell their story on here, on TikTok, with everything you do. You're very supportive of everybody, and you are the definition of what Paraunity is. And it doesn't need to be different people. It doesn't need to be all this stuff. It can be one person that's supporting everybody.
Absolutely.
So from us, thank you to you.
We love you.
That means a lot to me. You have no idea how much that means to me. Thank you so much. I mean, honestly, and come on anytime. And when you guys have more stuff going on, I would love to have you guys on again and help promote.
We love it.
Whatever, you know what I mean? And congratulations for everything. And I'm excited. Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, honey.
That was great. Make sure you guys go check them out. Go check out